Today, we're diving into something called Orchard.ai. It's a really interesting platform that takes a page from ancient wisdom to tackle a huge modern problem, all that digital junk we're creating every single day.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. What if 90% of all your digital work was basically just wasted? Think about it. All that stuff you've stored online, what if most of it is just useless clutter that's actually holding you back?
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at what's being called the digital waste epidemic. Then, we'll get into the winnowing philosophy. That's Orchard.ai's solution. After that, we'll see how their AI sorting engine actually works, check out the sustainable impact it has, and finish up with a look at something they call the abundant reward. Okay, let's kick things off with part 1, the digital waste epidemic. I mean, it sounds dramatic, but this really is a hidden crisis, lurking right there on our servers and hard drives.
And the scale of this problem? It's just staggering. I mean, get this. Some studies show that up to 90% of the data we store is never even looked at again after it's first uploaded. It just sits there, taking up space, burning energy, for nothing.
And look, this isn't some abstract problem. All this digital clutter has very real consequences, right? We're talking unnecessary carbon emissions just to power the servers storing it, billions of tons of e-waste. And for businesses, it means inefficient storage and higher costs. But maybe the worst part? It buries the good stuff, the valuable, actionable insights you actually need under this huge mountain of digital noise.
So, you gotta ask, how on earth do you solve a problem this big? Well, Orchard.ai's take is pretty interesting. They argue it's not just about throwing more tech at it, but about adopting a better philosophy. And that brings us right to our second section.
Yeah, this quote really nails their whole mission. It's not about managing data bloat, it's about eliminating it. The idea is to turn these cluttered, hot server rooms into something more like a peaceful digital grove, where all the junk data just evaporates, and all you're left with are the valuable insights.
At the heart of all this is a concept they call winnowing. Now, this comes from an ancient farming practice. You might have seen it mentioned in texts like Matthew 3:12. It's where you use wind to separate the good stuff, the valuable grain or wheat, from the useless husks, the chaff. And that's exactly what Orchard.ai is doing, but with our data.
So this totally changes how you think about the whole process, right? When you upload a file, a CSV, a PDF, whatever, you're not just dumping it on a server. You're planting a digital seed. Then the AI comes in, kind of like a digital farmer, and it nurtures that seed, separating the clean, actionable data, the good fruit, from all the duplicates and junk, which is the rotten fruit. Okay, so this digital farming idea sounds cool, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and look at the AI sorting engine that makes it all happen.
So the core of this thing is a really powerful AI engine. It's built on AWS Bedrock, that's Amazon's platform, and it uses some heavy-hitting AI models like Claude 3 and Titan to automatically classify everything that comes in. You can think of this engine as that intelligent fan from the winnowing analogy, the thing that blows away the chaff and leaves the wheat.
So how does the AI know what's good and what's bad? Well, it's not just guessing. It uses a really specific scoring formula that's based on 3 main things. First up, and this is the big one, is utility. Can you actually do something with this data? Then comes privacy. Is it secure? Is it totally anonymized? And finally, sustainability. What's the CO2 footprint of just keeping this thing around? And as you can see, utility is a huge piece of the pie here, fully 50% of the score. So the system is absolutely laser-focused on keeping data that has real, actionable value. But it's still putting a lot of weight on privacy and its environmental impact, which is pretty cool. And this whole process is just ruthlessly efficient. It's simple. If a piece of data scores higher than 0.7, it's wheat, it stays. If it scores lower, it's chaff, and poof, it's gone within 24 hours. And get this, the entire decision, the whole cycle, takes less than 250 milliseconds. That's incredibly fast. So, all of this high-speed, automated data cleaning, what does it actually get you? Well, it leads to some pretty incredible real-world benefits. Let's talk about the sustainable impact. First off, let's talk money. By getting rid of all that junk data, up to 90% of it, companies can see their data storage costs drop by a massive 40%. I mean, that's not a small number. That's a direct, immediate saving that goes right to the bottom line.
And the win for the environment is just as big. We're talking about lowering a company's CO2 footprint by about 25%. And how? It's so simple. You're just not paying to power servers that are storing useless stuff. It makes a real tangible difference.
You see how this flips the script? Deleting data suddenly doesn't sound like destruction. It's a protective act. You're just clearing out the energy-sucking noise to protect the planet and your budget. But wait, there's more. Orchard AI doesn't just clean house and call it a day. The last piece of this puzzle is this really unique system that's designed to actually reward you for having good data habits. They call it the abundant reward.
And it works with this really clever kind of gamified mechanic. So imagine you have a digital bucket. Every time the system finds good fruit, that's your high-quality data, it drops it in the bucket. When the bucket gets to 100%, it overflows. But here's the cool part. That overflow isn't wasted. It's caught in a safety net and gets converted into usable AI credits. You can use those to pay for the platform or unlock other features.
The idea here is pretty transformative, don't you think? It creates this positive feedback loop. It actually rewards you for generating high-quality data, which encourages better habits overall. It's a huge shift from the old way of thinking, which was all about rewarding volume, just how much data you have, to a new model that's all about rewarding value.
And all of this leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you look at your own digital world, your servers, your files, your cloud storage, what do you see? Is it a cluttered, energy-draining wasteland, or is it a well-tended, fruitful orchard? Orchard AI is making the case that with the right approach, it can absolutely be an orchard.